Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You may also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You couldn't get away from Doug and me if you tried. You can also find us on our podcast. And it's real easy. The podcast, by the way, the website there is thenewscasters.com. thenewscasters.com. So anyway, thank you so much for watching us. I have my friend Doug McGee with me right now, and he's with Second Chance Animal Shelter. Lots of things are happening at the animal shelter right now, and I'm still looking for some wild cats for the barn, by the way.
Hadn't had any calls. People wanting to bring us cats. Had a few people looking for cats, but they wouldn't want wild ones. So, but yeah, we hadn't had people wanting to bring them to us. But yeah, wide open.
Yeah,
that's the speed we're running at right now. We are. This past week was just, man alive. It flew by because it was just so busy, but good. Had the Harvest Festival in Boaz. And that went real well. We adopted, I think, 7 dogs over the weekend. And then we sent 8 dogs to Wisconsin on Saturday. They went up. So, we had the people from Wisconsin came all the way down here and got to tour our area and all. And I actually took them on a tour of our area just because they could, it's just a lot different up there than it is here. And they were kind of amazed at how many dogs there are running loose. And because up there it's just not the norm. Up there, people pretty much, and a lot of it has to do with the weather. People up there keep their dogs inside, and the dogs are more controlled here. Everybody just lets them run loose, and it's just different, a lot different.
Well, I think you and I need to go to Montgomery, and so what I'm going to do, I've got a contact, and so we need to go to Montgomery and sit at him in the law center.
You make the appointment, and whatever my schedule is, I will rearrange it, and you let me know. I would, because that's the bottom line. They were talking a lot about the laws up there and how it's just structured different. And, I don't want the government telling me what to do. That's just my nature. The government needs to stay out of my life as much as possible because I'm, freedom, whatever. That's just, but at some point, the government has to step in and force people to act like they're supposed to. And up there are more regulations. The main thing they do up there in Wisconsin is regulate breeders a lot more. They're inspected by the state or by the county, I'm not sure. And they have protocols that breeders have to adhere to. And then also the norm up there is spay and neuter. Most people in Wisconsin, that's just, it's just, unless they are a breeder, it's just automatic. They get their dogs fixed. And here it's kind of do it if you want to, but you really don't want to have to. You don't want to, it's just all over the place. So I think that's the difference. And that's why they're not putting down a lot of animals. And we still are, unfortunately. I heard recently that in Gadsden, they put down 150 in one day in that area, not necessarily Etowah County. That's a lot of dogs. Of course, other places put down 10 every day for a month. Well, that's 300 a month. Same difference if you hold them for, if you kill 300 a month, if you do it one day, whatever. It's kind of sad, though.
Yeah, it is. It is that people don't care. You have to really think about things in advance, though. Do you want to put them down? I mean, when they've had some life in them and they've been walking around and not only that, but sometimes they get really sickly and they carry diseases. They get run over, can cause bad accidents too.
Oh, absolutely.
I know Phil and I were going down the road one day and this dog just darted out from nowhere. I mean, and we hit him. Of course, Phil just slammed on the brakes and we almost hit, almost flipped the car by doing that, I know
a lady in Albertville whose nickname is Squirrel because she was driving down the road. A squirrel ran out from her. She dodged a squirrel, hit a tree, and totaled her car out. So I'm glad for the squirrel's sake. I hate that they had to spend whatever they had to pay to get their car, a new car. But she carries that nickname, and that happened years ago. Which is probably what I would end up doing if I could stop and avoid hitting an animal. I mean, of course, some people aren't like that. Some people almost target them if they see one.
Yeah, some people sport for them. That's not right either. We got to look out after God's animals. That's what we're stewards of. We got to do that.
I saw a documentary the other day and talking about, and this is completely different, but in a way it relates, and I hope it don't offend anybody me talking about it, but it was about the mentality of the guards during the Nazi concentration camp thing. And their mentality broke down into, they had to accept, the guards were charged with executing a lot of people. And three groups emerged. Ones that started to enjoy it, ones that just accepted it as this is my job and I've got to do it because they were ordered, they were military, they were ordered to do it. And then ones that didn't enjoy it, but they would look for excuses. That's when, hey, I'm sick today, I can't go to the death camp or whatever. And I see a lot of that same similarity in the way we treat animals. There are people that I really believe find joy in causing pain to animals, and even at all levels. And then some people say, well, we've got to put them down, just accept it. And I don't like it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. And then some people this is kind of where we lean. I don't like this. So how can we change it? And that's the group that I'm part of, is the one that said, I really think this is not a good idea, but we continue to do it. So we got to keep getting better.
I think so too. You and I are both on that same team right there. I would be the one calling in sick. I'd be going, I'm sick, I can't do it today. For me to work at a kill shelter, I think would be very difficult. I don't know. I really don't know at what point I would not be able to do it. But it's for me to go to work at a place every day that brought animals in. And I kind of admire people that can do that, because until we get the population under control, I don't know another answer. We can't have 50,000 dogs running loose all over everywhere. That's just not acceptable. But so our answer now is put them down. And there's some people, you have to be a tough person to be able to do that on a regular basis. But I don't know. I just find it sad. We can do better. Come on, people. We can do better. We can do better. Yeah. I got to see, people, because Wanda's, I'm not much of a computer person, but Wanda gets Facebook stuff all the time of, pictures of dogs that have been euthanized and people on what they call death row waiting for so she shares stuff like that with me. And it just always kind of right in my stomach. It's kind of like, okay, what can we do? What can we do? How can we change this scene or whatever? How can we make this better? And some people, you just got to accept it. You can't save them all. You hear all that, every day. So, you can't save them all. And I get that, but can we not work towards trying to save them all? We need help though. We can't, I know me and Wanda can't save them all. We can't save the ones we got. We're hanging on, but I don't know. If everybody would just try to save their own little corner of the world, that would be a huge help right there.
It really would. If you would, kind of like litter, I'll go to Buck's Pocket every Sunday. That's just my place in the universe. And I went up there, and I used to go up there and I would see trash, and I'd be going, the park staff needs to do their, pick up the trash. But then I got to thinking, they've got other things to do. It's a pretty good sized park. So now when I go up there on Sunday morning to wherever I'm at, I pick up litter, and I may not, but just that one area. So now, I've actually noticed it's cleaner. I hate seeing trash anywhere on the side of the road, but especially a park. That's a natural place, and we shouldn't have beer cans and Coke cans and all that laying all over. So, but once again, I'm not worried about Gunnersville State Park if I'm standing in Buck's Pocket. And I just try to pick up that 100-yard area and take it to the garbage can, and whether it be, and it's next week I'll go back out there, and I'm sure I'll pick up more garbage because people don't care, but still try to focus on the area where we can make a difference. And
I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's whatever you've experienced too, because like me, okay, I used to own a store. Okay. And people would come in and just destroy it. Just stuff would be on the floor and what have you. Well, the customers don't understand that. They think, you're being a lazy shop person. I remember one time I had these women who came in, they were sisters, and they would come to my store and spend $500 or $600 every time they came in.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of let them, kind of run the mill, And so I was cleaning up after him one day, and another lady came in, did not realize that I'd had 3 people in there who were just like all over the place. And this lady said, "This looks like a mess in here." Well, I didn't say anything, but I was just kind of like, yeah, I was cleaning it up. It did look worse than this. But when I go to a store, because see, I experienced that. So when I go to, let's say I go to Shepherd's Cove Thrift Shop, I'll see something on the floor, I pick it up and put it back on a rack. And I've seen people have just looked at me like, "That's not your job." Well, it kind of is.
Yeah.
I'm helping. They've got enough, like you just said. They've got enough they've got to do. I mean,
just a little bit of effort. When you go to a restaurant, this is completely outside. When I go to a restaurant and I eat, I don't know why, but I put my salt shakers back to where they go and kind of put things in my plate. If I've got a plate or 2 or whatever, I try to kind of stack them up. And it's nothing gesture, but something I've always done. But it kind of maybe it'll help that next person, the guy that collects the plates, the guy that cleans the table, the busboy. Maybe it'll make his job a little bit better. I don't know. As I said, if you're going somewhere and you happen to see a aluminum can on the ground or a piece of paper, and pick it up. There's a garbage can right there. It might be good for your exercise to bend over. So I don't know. I just think if everybody just do little bitty things, it can make a huge difference.
I look at it exactly the same way. I mean, exactly, because I remember what it was like to have a shop. I remember what it was like to have a store. And so people are going to mess stuff up. So I just want to make it easier for the next person.
Did you have grocery carts when you had a store? Did you have a shopping cart?
No, I had baskets.
Yeah, when you go to Walmart, that's always been a pet peeve. Now, a friend of mine says, "Oh, I think it's great that they leave them out there. Give somebody a job. Give the guy that collects the cart." But that I go there and I see a cart laying in the middle of a parking spot, so nobody, people won't move it. And that I think, well, come on, people. There's cart corrals all over this Walmart parking lot. Don't be lazy. And even if it's raining, just suck it up and put that cart where it belongs. Don't leave it sitting out in the middle of the parking lot to jam up a parking space, get knocked against something else. But yeah, me and Wanda both gripe about that. To pull into Walmart, and you can't get into a parking space because right in front of the other car opposing you, there's a cart between you, and there's not enough space to get in the spot. And you just know, I would think it's probably generational. I think our generation might be a little more inclined to make the effort than you. I don't know. I'm just guessing there. I haven't ever paid a lot of attention, but it infuriates me.
Yeah, it does me too. I mean, I have the exact same response, and Phil is the same way. Now, Phil is just a little bit older than I am, so he says it was his generation that was the best one, and mine's better.
Well, I do think the animal generation, I'm actually proud of the younger generation, like the kids, high school kids and all. We're getting a lot of support for the shelter. Not so much money, but as far as energy and all that comes from the young. I think that we're going to see a lot of positive things in the animal welfare.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, I believe
friends come and go. Some people don't want to be like their parents and their grandparents. And that's what we've got to go into a commercial break. Can you believe
wow. I didn't talk about dogs much.
We'll be right back in just a minute. Everybody hang in there. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, We're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took MyPillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented MyPillow to bring you the best pillow in history, MyPillow 2.0. Because of all of you, MyPillow 2.0 has been a huge success, and now we're bringing you our best-selling Go Anywhere MyPillows with the same temperature-regulating technology. Made with my patented adjustable fill and brand-new cooling fabric, they're truly the next generation of MyPillow. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. Regular $259.92, now only $99.98. King size just $10 more. This is a limited time offer, so please order now.
The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. We're back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge, where truth matters. It really does. So we're talking truth with Doug McGee. He's with Second Chance Animal Shelter. We're talking about doing our little part to make the world around us much better. And I think it's a great idea because, a lot of people say, well, I don't have that much influence. Yeah, you do. Think about this. Okay, so you were talking about being at a department store and moving a cart. Think about this. If you move the cart, you may have just prevented somebody from being hit by a car. There's a possibility. What if somebody hits that cart and the cart goes and runs out and, and somebody runs over it and then they try to avoid that and hit a pedestrian? You never know what you do could lead up to something greater and better.
Yeah, I've got that philosophy. A lot of times I know we're not talking about dogs, but this is interesting. Same way with traffic. Now, I get in traffic jams, and we're not exactly the same on this. If I'm behind somebody and they're going slow, I remember hearing a story about 9/11 where some people were supposed to be at work that day, and they got jammed up in traffic or whatever, and then they didn't make it to work and probably saved their life not being at the towers. So I kind of feel like if I'm behind the slowpoke, then that's kind of where I'm supposed to be.
Preventing you from being in an accident.
yeah, maybe there's something in dynamic in the universe that I don't understand that's kept that I'm going slow. They're going slow to keep me going slow so that I don't end up getting hurt or whatever. I just kind of let things slide on, and sometimes, I'm not always that way, but one is a little bit less tolerant, I think.
Well, I'm a little more Wanda like. And so let me tell you something that happened a long time ago. So I was taking Brad to school. We're running late, and this is something else. And I think it's a God thing. So I was like, I would drop the brush. I was dropping makeup. I was dropping everything that morning. It's like everything was causing me to be late. And I was just fussing and griping. Then I got behind a slowpoke. And I'm fussing. Brad's sitting over here. Well, listen, by the way, kids watch you. So Brad was watching me. And then we passed a wreck. And Brad said, Mom, if you hadn't been dropping everything, if we hadn't got behind that slowpoke, that could have been me and you in that wreck.
Absolutely. See, that's what I'm saying. If you just kind of let them.
Well, that stopped me for a brief period of time. I still got right back into it again.
Yeah, no, I'm not perfect now. Sometimes it depends on where I'm going. But too, if I'm going somewhere, I would generally try to allow enough time where I don't have to be in a big hurry.
Me too. Yeah.
I know on the dog front, I want to, there's several little stories I want to tell you. One is the people from Wisconsin came down here last Thursday, and they got to see the area. And there's people in Wisconsin undoubtedly that watch this show. And I'm proud of that. Wisconsin people, they're great. The people that we work with, Second Chance North is what they're called. If any of them, if you hear this and you got access to Ripon, Wisconsin, send a shout out to them people up there. They're amazing and fantastic. They came down, picked up dogs, and they're just everything about the situation is good with Wisconsin people. And we can't thank them enough because they're all volunteers. None of them get paid anything. Everything they do is to help us with our situation down here. So people in Ripon, Wisconsin, Jason, Jessica, Rebecca, Carrie, and there's a lot of them. They all need a shout out. So I think it's pretty cool that we're working across the country to save dogs here.
And you've got some awesome volunteers too. You have a lady who comes out at nighttime and cleans cages and.
She sure did. And in fact, back to the Wisconsin, the other night on Saturday night, the people of Wisconsin, they rented a house in Gunnersville while they were here. And they invited all the crew here to come to a cookout. Well, the lady that volunteers, that's just not her thing. So she was here while she was working. Somebody threw a Australian Shepherd or a Blue Heeler. She's working, and all of a sudden, here comes this dog running out there. And somebody put it inside the fence. And we were all down there in Gunnersville. So she calls it. She's kind of in a panic, said, "Oh, what do I do? I got this dog running around." But it ended up being a friendly dog, and we've got it secured. But I told Wanda, can't get together with a group of people that something like this doesn't happen. Day before that, somebody threw 2 puppies out right here by the gate. It's the way it goes. I try to roll with it.
Well, what's the proper way? Let's just say you were living in a housing project and they said you can't have an animal over so many pounds or whatever, and folks do have to get rid of it. So what is the proper way to dispose of an animal?
That is the best question ever, because what happens is sometimes it's an immediate need, and that we understand that. But the more time you can give us to work it out, the better. So if they tell you, if your landlord says, "Hey, you got 1 month to get rid of that dog,"
and they had to call you right then, right?
Start the process then. And what normally happens, you'll call us, and our first answer is we're full. We're always full, but we need a picture of the animal sent to our Facebook page. We need anything you can tell us about it, and be honest. If if it killed all the neighbors' cats, we'd like to know that, because we can still work with you, but we got to be treated a little different.
Select it goes to the home it goes to.
Yeah, exactly. So that whoever adopted can't have access to cat. There's a lot of things we can do. Even a dog that's got behavioral problems, if you work with us, but then a phone numbers. What we'll do when we get the picture, we'll see if we've got room for it. If we don't, then we'll reach out to Wisconsin and places all across the country. I mean, we've sent dogs to Maine last month. There's a lot of groups wanting to help, but they need time, and they can't take, they have to make sure they've got a place to take it. So the quicker you can get to us and understand we probably can't help you on immediately, then maybe we can work something out. The smaller the dog, the easier it is. If it's a black lab or pit bull, it's very difficult because there's so many of them. There's so many. It's different, but we can still work with them if you got a little bit of time to work with us. The last thing I would recommend doing is taking it to a kill shelter, especially a pit bull or a lab, because it's, and people do it every day because they get in a desperate situation. But if you'll give us a little time, so many times we hear, "Hey, I'm moving, and I need to bring you my dog." Well, how much time you got before you move? "Oh, we're moving today," and it'll be on a Saturday afternoon. No, it's not. And of course we say no. And a lot of times they'll leave them. They'll just throw them out. A man the other day came from Georgia. He had adopted a dog in Blount County. If something happened with his wife, he couldn't keep the dog anymore. I think there were two of them, couldn't keep them. Called the shelter in Blount County, and they said they were open. We drove from Georgia. They were ended up being closed. So now he just drove off from Georgia with two dogs. Of course, he comes here. We're full. I don't know what he did with them. I have no idea. He said he couldn't take them home. I really don't know. But, once again, I find a lot of sadness. This job makes me sad in a lot of ways. But there's a lot of joy, but there's also just underlying sadness associated with working at Second Chance. Because you just realize we're not capable to handle all the needs.
But you know something? I found that if you'll just, mother had a cat, or actually somebody dropped off some kittens. That's what happened. Somebody dropped off some kittens at mother's house. Well, mother didn't want them. She said that, I'll trip over them and I'll, whatever. And so I said, well, let me take some cute pictures of them. And I'm just going to put them on Facebook and say free cats. They were gone that day.
Yeah. And a lot of that's because there were kittens and you took a good picture. I mean, that's what we do. Now we try to take a good picture. We send it out to rescue groups, and a lot of times they'll take them. But everybody wants kittens and puppies, and everybody wants the small dogs. And our big log jam here always has been those bigger dogs. And I know you like big dogs, and I prefer big dogs. I've got a big old black lab running. I heard him drinking water right here in the office. And he kind of got issues. That's why he's in the office. We're trying to get him where understands people a little bit better. But nobody, he will not be wanted by anybody. I mean, it's just, once again, that sadness. It really is.
That is so sad because I love my buddy. I mean, my buddy is awesome. We've got a little bit over a minute left in this segment. So how can folks get in contact with you guys, Doug?
The best way is Facebook, Second Chance Shelter, but instead of the word second, it's the abbreviation. So 2ND Chance Shelter. They can call us at 256-561-2411. Come by and visit. We're easy to find. We're just off Highway 168, and which is between Boaz and Kilpatrick. We're just off of there. You put it in Google. Our address is 130 County Road 398, Boaz. You can find us, and we'd love to have you visit, call, send messages on Facebook, because we like to contact people and see how we can work together to make it better.
Now, in the next segment, we're going to talk about volunteering, but folks can use that same number if they would like to help and volunteer.
We just got a call 30 minutes ago. Some kid wanting to volunteer 15 hours or whatever for school. So, yeah, we need volunteers.
There you go. Doug, thank you so much for being on today's show.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and we're syndicated on Abundance Television. Probably folks around the country are watching you on that. Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire, and all the social media sites there as well. Doug, we'll have to call it a day. Thank you so much for watching, and again, thank you for watching us.